Feel free to take whichever pose you would like to take. Let yourself breathe deep in and breathe deep out here. Notice how you're feeling head to toe this morning. Let's walk our hands over to the left side of the room that we're in and feel a gentle pull in your right hip right here.
Okay, Google, turn down the music.
And walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Breathe deep in and out here. And then when you're ready, you'll take your time and curl the 10 toes under and push your hips back to downward facing dog. And you could shake or nod the head out. We're going pretty energetic right from the start this morning. So let your head shake out, let your head nod. This might be your first downward facing dog of the morning. And taking your time from here, widen your 2 feet. Some of you will stay in a wide-legged downward facing dog. Some of you will walk your hands a little bit closer to your 10 toes, bending the knees. And you're going to reach back for the left ankle and shin with the right hand. So it's opposite hand to your shin bone. Just a little stretch. And you can look through the left armpit here. And you'll bring your right hand down to the ground. You'll bring your left hand over. And you'll look through the right armpit here. And you'll bring your hand back down and come back into a neutral downward facing dog. And then gently, the knees will come down to the floor. Make sure you're always patting up the knees, doing whatever you need to for your own knees at home, especially if you're on a hard surface and without a mat. Let's inhale and lift the heart and chest here, and then gently gaze over your left shoulder as you let your tailbone shift to the right. And then exhale and just take traditional cat pose here. And then as you inhale, we're going to take that little bit of a sway with our back. So look over right shoulder and let the left hip gently sway to the side. And these are slow and paused. Exhale into cat pose. And now we're just going to move into this. So inhaling, look going over left shoulder, and exhale and bring the chin to the right collarbone. Inhale, look over right shoulder, and exhale, chin in cat pose to the left collarbone. And then let it all go. Take your time from this. You'll curl the 10 toes. Once again, we'll find our third downward facing dog. And we'll look forward with the gaze and just tiptoe or walk our feet to the front of the space we're in. You'll take your time and lift your heart and chest, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. En route to rise, you'll lift the heart and chest and rise up. Inhale. And hands will come to the heart, exhale. And shake everything out right here. And we're going to move into sun salutation A. Inhale, the arms will lift up to the sky, breath in. On the exhale, you'll swan dive, come down to the floor to forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale, breath in. As hands come down to the mat, step your feet back. And if you have advanced in your practice and want to move through flow, shift into your plank pose here. Knees can always drop down to the floor. And you'll take your time. The elbows will hug the sides of the body as you lower ribs and chest to the floor. We're going to talk a little bit about the back bend in this. So if you're in downward facing dog, hang out there, take a child's pose if you need a rest. While we're here, everybody glue the big toes down to the floor. And I want you to think the heel is directly to the ceiling and hug your elbows into the sides of your body. And as you lift up here, keep a bend in your elbow bone so that you are using low back. Go ahead and come back down to the earth. Keeping our thighs on the floor, we're having this extension of cobra as we lift the heart and chest. If you want to play with lifting thighs, again, keep the elbow bones bent. This is upward facing dog. And let's come back down one more time. And then from there, I want you to really use your lower abdominals. So lifting up into cobra. From this, everybody will eventually lift thighs and then pull your navel up and then curl the 10 toes. And you'll feel just a little bit more in the lower abdominals below your belly button. Look forward and step your feet. We're going to do that a few times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold, talking a little bit more about our lower abdominals. Reach up, breath in. And hands will come to the heart. So we'll be taking that movement slightly slower. Inhale, arms will lift up, mountain pose, breath in. Exhale, you'll swan dive and come down to the floor to forward fold. Halfway lift on inhale. We'll all take what we would like. Some of you are going to hang in your downward dog, some will drop to knees. And we're going to take from the back bend, transition slow. So inhale here in your back bend. Now remember, lift the tailbone and belly and feel your lower abdominals, then curl the 10 toes. So it's just a moment of inches of movement. Look forward and step your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Root to rise. Inhale, heart and chest, everything lift up. Hands come to the heart, exhale out. One more time, I'm just going to cue you through this. Inhale, reach up, mountain pose. Exhale and swan dive to the floor, forward fold. Your hands come to the shin bones or stay on the floor, halfway lift, a flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor and feet step back. We go from either downward facing dog and stay there or shift into plank. Lower the ribs, heart and chest to the floor and glue big toes. As you lift up into a back bend, cobra or up dog, now lift your middle a little more and then curl the 10 toes. Give that permission and push back. And that's going to work those lower abdominals. Look forward and step your feet to the front of your mat when you're ready. Halfway lift on inhale. On an exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Oftentimes in, especially something like sun salutation A that is seen so frequently in so much practice of yoga, we take it a little bit for granted and we go into this autopilot experience. So throughout our chaturanga today, I really invite you to continue to lift, and I'll remind you through the middle of your body and create a different experience this morning, this afternoon, whenever you are practicing. So sitting back into chair pose for sun salutation B, place the weight into your heels. Arms will lift up either to our heart or express themselves to the ceiling here. The weight's in the heels of the feet, breathing in, breathing out. Taking your time from here, straighten the legs, fold to the floor, and lift the left leg in standing split. So you might need to bend the right knee a lot to have your hands hold the floor. Advanced practice, if you want to play in bringing one hand or both hands around the shin bone, go for it. Breathe in and out. And go ahead and bring the left foot back. Big toes come together, kneecaps come together. Find yourself back in chair pose, inhale. Heart and chest lifted. Tailbone descending down. Fold again to the floor. We're going to do standing splits on side B. Left leg grounded, right leg lifting. Curl the nose in. So this will become part of our flow. And we're holding on our first round. Sweep the right foot back to the left, big toes together, kneecaps together, rise up, chair pose, breath in. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift on inhale. And as your hands come to the mat, step the left foot back, find a lunge. Drop the left knee to the floor. And rise up into dragon pose, which is a knee to the floor lunge. If this is too much, hands down on your thigh, you're letting this left hip really stretch. That's where we feel a lot of the energy of this pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take hands, frame the right foot as you come down to the floor. Push your hip bones back. Lift the right heel, or pardon me, lift the 5 toes, ground the heel. And then shift back into sometimes called monkey pose right here. A modified monkey pose. Sit back, heel grounded, 5 toes lifted. Roll forward. We're going to take 3 rounds. We have 1 more right here. Sit back, 5 toes towards the ceiling, and shift forward. Taking your time from there, curl the left 5 toes. Push back to downward facing dog. Shake everything out. Nod. Right leg lifts to the sky. Step forward. Walk the left foot out, crescent lunge. So the left heel is lifted and we take out a balance beam and we find ourselves hip width distance with our 2 thighs. The closer they are, the more challenging this could be, and it might present you with just a little bit too much. Sink the left heel. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale here. Exhale. You'll take the left foot to the floor. Your 2 hips will still square towards wherever your front gaze is. So the left foot's only really turned out to about 11 o'clock. Shift the hip bones back for pyramid pose and hinge at your hips. Either bring hands to your thigh, above kneecap, absolutely, to the shin bone, or if the flexibility is there, press the right big toe into the floor and fold to the ground. You just want to avoid an incredible amount of rounding in your spine. We can't really see ourselves. So think of the energy and pull your shoulders down right here from your ears. Big stretch to start class. We've been doing a lot of walking. This will be really helpful. 1 more deep inhale. Maybe you started up running again. This is a great practice for a runner. 1 more exhale. Bend into the knee. Open up the left 5 toes more to 10 o'clock and rise up into warrior 1. Shoulders roll down and back. Open up the left 5 toes into a 9 o'clock, arms tee open. I'm loving seeing the dog, Jennifer. He's adorable. Find yourself in warrior 2. He's my favorite part of the class. Knee is bent, tracking over middle toe here, warrior 2. Reverse warrior, so the right knee will want to straighten itself out. Continue to keep it bent and lift up and breathe in here. Feel the entire side of your body stretch. Find yourself coming down to the floor, side angle, or rest on your thigh. This is the modified version. Left hand at the hip, reach up to the sky. Some of you might even really enjoy an extended side angle here. You can see my arm is diagonaling towards the front of my head, towards the ceiling here. 1 more deep inhale. Really nice. Deep exhale. Think shoulder over shoulder while you're here. Come back up. Reverse your warrior on a big inhale. Pivot on the left 5 toes. Frame the right foot. Step back. And we're going to move through that high and low plank. So Shift into plank, lower down. Remember, we're focusing on the abdominals below your belly button. So to do that, we have to lift and then find a downward dog. So we're lifting right through the middle of the body. Left leg will lift to the sky, breath in. You'll step the left foot forward and gently bring the right kneecap down to the floor. In our lower lunge, and find yourself upright here, shoulders over hips. Express arms or bring them to your thigh with hands interlaced. Breathe in. Breathe out. So you're on opposite legs now. Wherever you're at in your practice, make sure you've switched. Other leg should be forward. Breathe in. And breathe out. You'll bring your hands down and frame the left foot on the floor. Push your hips back, driving the heel into the floor, the 5 toes to the ceiling, and then you'll shift forward. And this is an incredible amount of movement. It's meant to just stretch out our left leg and come forward. One more time. Sit back and come forward. We put a lot into our sequence. Hopefully I remember it all. Bring the 2 hands to the floor. Curl the right 5 toes. Left leg will lift to the ceiling. Breath in. And we're going to step the left foot forward. Breath out. Rock the right foot out so that we're not on our balance beam and rise up into crescent lunge. Breath in. Now take the right heel. 5 toes to the floor. Think 1 o'clock. But both hip bones are more square to the front where your gaze and chin and nose point. Push your hip bones back. We're taking pyramid pose. Press into the left big toe here and just bypass the knee for where your hands will rest. When we rest on our knee, that's pretty harsh. We want to avoid the joint and find our space somewhere else. Line of energy from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Deep inhales and deep exhales here. Continue to breathe in and breathe out.
Gigi, calm down.
Really nice. Rise up. Open the right 5 toes just a smidge more so they're more at 2 o'clock. Bend into the left knee. Warrior 1 right here. And then open up your body into warrior 2. Right 5 toes opening up. Knee tracking over middle toe on the left. Take your time. Reverse your warrior. Breath in. Breath out. Continue to bend into left knee. Go ahead and come into your version of side angle. We want to continue to keep an opening in our chest. So if we come down to the floor, use the push of your arm against your thigh to really open yourself up right here. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Nice. Go ahead and reverse your warrior. Breath in. And then pivot. Frame the left foot as you come down to the floor and move through high and low plank once again. So it's a slow round and there was a lot happening in it. Inhale here. Remember, then we lift the middle of the body, even if we're on our knees. Curl the 10 toes, downward dog. So it's all about those few inches of movement. Look forward with your gaze and step your feet. Halfway lift on inhale. On exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale, lift up, heart and chest, reach up. Hands come to the heart, breath out. We're going to flow and add some energy. Continue to breathe through nose as you will find that this will quicken your breath. And we want to really harness the exertion of the practice. So kneecaps together, big toes together. Sit back into chair pose. Breathe through your nose. Deep inhale and deep exhale. fold to the floor. Right leg roots, left leg lifts. We're taking what's called a water pump. Knee to the nose, exhale, inhale, lift it up. Left leg, exhale, bring knee to the nose. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. One more time, knee to nose, and lift to the sky. Toes come together. Rise up, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Right leg lifts to the sky. Left foot is rooted and grounded. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift. Pardon me, big toes together, knees together. Chair pose, inhale. Energy through nose breathing. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift on inhale. On this round, more chaturanga. Step back. Move through high and low plank if you would like. And I will meet you in your downward facing dog from here. So moving through high and low plank, if it's part of your practice. Lift through the middle and find downward facing dog from there. In downward facing dog, right leg to the sky. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift. We're finding ourselves shifting more into a plank relationship here. If this doesn't serve you, stand downward dog. We have one more round. Right knee to nose. Inhale and lift. Look forward, step the foot, walk the left foot out, rise up, crescent lunge, inhale. Bring the left heel bone to the floor, hinge at the hips, right leg is straight, pyramid pose. Roll yourself up, start to turn the left 5 toes and bend into the right knee, warrior 1. Left 5 toes are turned out more to a 10 o'clock. Open up 9 o'clock with the left foot, heel and arch, open up and line up. Reverse warrior inhale from warrior 2. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. So this is 1 breath per movement. Through the nose. Pivot, frame the right foot, come down to the earth. Step back and move through high and low plank if you would like. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, left leg lifts to the sky. Left knee to nose, we find more of a plank relationship. Inhale, lift. Knee to nose, exhale, and lift. Knee to nose, exhale, and lift. Step forward. Right heel comes to the floor. Rise up, inhale. Straighten out from the hips and from the left leg. Hinge at the hips, pyramid pose, fold. Bend the left knee. Rise up, inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior inhale. Exhale, side angle. Reverse your warrior inhale. Pivot, frame the left foot as you come down to the floor. And once again, move through high and low plank, finding yourself back in a downward facing dog from there. Good. Lift the heels a little bit more, or lift the hips a little bit more, Nancy, and sink your heels. So you're stretching. That's it. Really nice. So if I see you, I will help you a little bit in some of these poses. Absolutely take child's pose if you need to. Widen the knees if you need to. Sink your hips. And let's all take a child's pose now. So coming down to the floor, you can sit back into the hips a little bit here and relax your head and shoulders to the floor. So those of you, while we're here, if you ever did wish in the live classes to have your camera on, yoga is really a practice about you. It's not anybody else. No one is probably watching you. They're most likely listening and watching me. And I'm watching each of you to help you broaden and deepen the practice that you have. I wouldn't necessarily use words like improve because we are imperfect all the time, and that's part of yoga practice and acceptance. But instead, maybe looking to heighten the experience and to create even more opening for you. So the cues that I'll give you will be for those experiences, not about your ego at all, not getting better. Let's go ahead and come up from child's pose right here. And let's curl the 10 toes and push back to downward facing dog. Look forward with your gaze and step your feet. Halfway lift on an inhale. On an exhale, fold through the four corners of your feet, gluing them to the floor. And root to rise. Inhale, let's lift up to the ceiling. Breath in. And hands will come to your heart. Breath out. Good. So standing splits essentially was a really big portion of our balance today. And so we are actually going to take a second balance pose that will be very unique and in its own thing. And it will include, stuttering here a little bit, it will include a twist. So rooting into the left leg, let's start with side B today. The right foot is going to come forward, maybe profiling, let's see that a little bit better. I have my right foot forward, the heel bone lifted. And our start of our balance here is to lift our knee up to the hip level height here. And then it looks really easy. This pose is an interesting pose for what it looks like and what it actually does to do. The left hand is going to come across your thigh. Right hand, I'm resting it at my back, and my gaze is where the pose gets really challenging. We start to look over the right shoulder. Now, advanced, I'm going to give you an option here. Take your peace fingers around your big toe. Woo, and kick your foot forward, but don't do it like me because I fell right out of that. So nice and slow, you would kick your right foot forward as you open up. To twist. Now you don't have to twist. Take this however far you want to take it. We just want to have those gradual progressions for people and have nothing become stagnant in the practice. So they're not meant for somebody to just go all out and go for it, but they're meant to be what they are each and every day, unique to you. One more deep inhale. And one more deep exhale. Really nice to go ahead and come forward and shake it out. Rocking it. Good job. Shake it out. All right. Moving on from here, we're going to root into side A, which is typically how we refer to the right side. And left knee is going to protrude a little forward. The heel's going to lift. This is just getting acclimated into the balance. Then we lift it to the level of the hip bone. Hand will come across the thigh. You'll twist or you'll kick your foot forward. You could actually bring your whole hand around your foot too. I apologize for not giving that cue. And again, just know these progressions. You might really find one side to be this awesome experience. And then the other side to really bring you a lot of challenge as well. So that's really typical. Just be kind to yourself in the mind as you take this pose. One more deep inhale. And a really deep exhale. I want you to untwist if you took the twist. Come out of this nice and slow, bringing the left foot back down to the ground and just letting the knees bend a little bit, shifting your weight, rolling the shoulders down, relax your jaw. You might have tensed up a little bit. When we are concentrating, we maybe put some of our intensity and some of our stress into small joints. So relax your jaw here. And coming to the front of your mat, front of your space, let's reach up and inhale to the ceiling with a breath in. And on an exhale, go ahead and swan dive down to the floor. halfway lift on an inhale, and then you're just going to gently bring the knees to the floor, and we're going to take a few more twists. And I'm going to give you some gradual progressions on this twist as well. So I'm fortunate enough to have, and these retail for around actually $8, not too expensive. It's very light, a yoga block. And this, one of the points of a yoga block is to give you some height and to give you some reprieve from inflexibility and gravity. It's kind of the two things. They can open you up a lot too. But what I'm going to do with my block is I'm eventually going to put it underneath my sits bones. So you could use some books at home. You could use something soft. It's just not going to give you that resistance that something hard gives you, physically speaking. And this is going to come into play with a progression. We're going to start with our two legs out, and you're going to bring the right heel in towards you. So this is head of cow stretch. We just bring the right foot in by our thigh right here. My leg is resting in towards my inner thigh, my foot. And then the left leg is going to pick itself up, and now my ankle bone is at the top of my right knee. So it's just crossed over and I'm nice and tall. Hopefully you can see that view. This is option A, keeping the leg lifted. And then the tricep of the right arm is going to hook over this left thigh. And I'm going to gently twist over the left. And you might find you're kind of crunched up in here, and that's where the block can be really nice because it helps you to lift up and enable the twist more upright. Now, a progression with or without something under your sits bones would be to take the top leg. We're going to be in this pose for a little bit. It's a hip opener as well. And start to stack your two thighs. So the thighs, you can see my arms, I'm mimicking what my legs are actually doing. I'm stacking my left leg on top of the right. And then if I still am not feeling the stretch enough, I could walk my bottom heel out from my thigh a little. So my legs would actually do this and my feet, they move and fan out. And I'm really am feeling this here. So you could, again, take something and place it underneath you. And then if you did take the progression, hands come to prayer. Our expression in the hands is a little different. We hinge forward and right tricep hooks over left thigh. So either way, we are in a twist now and we're holding and breathing here. This is a hip opener and a twist today for our practice. Our left elbow bone is energetically going towards the ceiling if we took prayer hands. Shoulders are relaxed and down, and your spine is very upright if you took this twist without your thighs together. So our first option. Think of your spine nice and tall here, even though you are twisted. And those of us here with the thighs stacked, we got into this pose maybe a little bit later, and that's okay. We have 3 to 4 more breaths all together. We're going to look forward all together. Those of you with legs with the knee lifted more towards the ceiling tiles or your ceiling, you're going to uncross and recross the legs in a moment. A fun little thing you can do if you stacked your legs like I did here to demo, even though I even have this block behind me, is, if you want to check it out, it's kind of fun to play in. I do this in class too. My hands come forward, so I pitch my body forward. I'm going to end up on the outside of each of my feet, my pinky toes. My hips lift a little bit here, and I want to twist towards the lower leg. So right now that's my right. So I lift my hips, I walk in a circle all the way around, ta-da, and I end up with the other thigh on top. It's kind of a fun little trick. So if you want to try it, you can.
The 2 dogs in the right
End up with
corner.
your other thigh on top.
Right corner.
You got to go towards the bottom leg, whatever that bottom leg is. That's the way you have to twist.
Square.
So wherever you are, you bring hands to your heart. Hinge a little bit forward, or again, we're upright and twisted, and the tricep hooks over our thigh. We're twisting the other way now. Deep inhales and exhales here. Three to four more. Go ahead and look forward. Relax your shoulders down. You'll lift your hips. You'll take your block out, if you were using one, and you'll bring your feet forward. And you'll let your legs windshield wiper a little bit to the right and left, right here. Really nice. Take your time. If you have any props, and you want to use them, we are going to make our way down onto our back from here. So go ahead and lie all the way down. Eventually we are going into Shavasana, so if you have a sweatshirt or socks nearby and you found that after all that effort and breathing a little heavier, that you are finding yourself getting a little more cooled off, make sure you have those things handy. And as we come down to the floor, the knees are going to hug into the chest, and we're going to bring the feet to the floor. And I want you to walk your feet out a little bit. So if you could touch your heels, which is typically what we do cue, I want you to walk them farther away from you. So there's a little bit of effort here. Now I apologize because everyone's floor is going to have a different experience with this. But we're going to lift our chin and chest, our back of the head off the floor. And I just want you to touch the heel on each side. So we're using our abdominals here a little bit. You're just exhaling, touch heel. Exhale, touch heel. And there's a little bit of core here. We're getting just that little bit in this morning here. Breathing for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and come back down to the floor. You'll take an inversion of your choice. Last night I demoed legs up the wall, which if you did want to do legs up the wall, you can get yourself nice and close to a wall, and you would bring one whole side of your thigh next to it. You'd actually bring the whole side of your body, then lie on the floor and do a little 90-degree spin to get your legs as close as you can. That's a really nice technique. Legs up the wall wherever you're at. You could use a chair. You could use your couch, and the legs could literally put themselves right onto the chair. That could be a really nice option. I'm putting a block underneath the sits bones to take a legs up the wall variation here. So books work too. Obviously, they have to feel nice on the ends for the sacrum. Low back. Just breathe deep in and out. And once again, check in with yourself. We do that little check-in with ourselves at the beginning of class. So we're doing a little check-in once again. Relaxing everything. Our practice is starting to wind down. We had some amount of effort, and we had some deep stretch. And now we're just rinsing out with our inversion. Our head a little bit above our heart with whichever one you've taken. And from that, you'll hug the knees in. Maybe you took legs up the wall. You'll come out of this however you need to. If you took a different inversion at home. The hips are going to lift. If you have some object underneath the low back, and you'll take it out. And then from this, we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. Left leg becomes pretty straight. And then typically speaking, we let our foot go a little bit behind. We're going to twist to the left side. And as we twist to the left side, I want you to just lengthen your right foot out a little bit from you. Doesn't have to be this completely straight leg, but it just comes out from the amount of bend that it could take. Palm of your right hand faces the ceiling, your knuckles are on the floor, and look over your right shoulder. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Really nice, you'll look forward. You'll bring the kneecap in. And you'll switch sides. Left knee will gently hug into the chest. You'll gently bring the left leg across your body, and then just go ahead and let your foot go out a little farther from you. Left hand to the floor, the palm side facing the ceiling. Look over your left shoulder. We'll take our gaze up to the ceiling. We'll bring ourselves back onto our back. And from this, Shavasana will be the final pose of our practice. I highly recommend whenever you take a practice or do some movements that are yoga inspired, find a moment to take a pose like this, where everything is completely still, where your head is relaxed on the floor, the jaw of your face is relaxed, and your eyes close. So in some way, you're just closing down and quieting some of your senses. We can still hear the noises that are going on in our homes. We can still hear the other people. So we're present and there's a wakefulness, but there's also a sense of letting go right here. Eyes can close. And you'll let yourself just go here. Take some time to just be with yourself. Taking your time, you'll start to hug the knees into the chest, and you'll rock and roll a little bit side to side. And from that, you'll roll to the right or left. You can always stay lying down, I won't even know. And you'll bring yourself up to easy seated pose. And hands will come to the heart right here. Breathing in together, a breath. And exhale, namaste. Thank you for sharing this morning in a practice. Yoga definitely tends to be one of our more higher attended classes.